Welcome back to another Sunday morning video. Thought I would talk about Grayscale stuff. Some things to keep in mind. Now, I put out a couple videos where I've talked about potential returns that you could see if you invest into like the LTCN fund or the BCHG fund, etc. And they're phenomenal returns. If you're interested in investing and getting those potential returns, do the math, do the research, all that kind of stuff yourself. Okay, and also, the standard disclaimer here is I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, just my opinion. I'm just a dude in a car on YouTube that you found. Anyway, so I want to talk about the Grayscale funds and some things to think about, some words of caution, things to think about for the future. Right now, the math that's involved in the videos that I did, where I talked about potential returns, relies upon the fact that we have trusts, just like they are right now existing. If things were to change, the equations change, and they change for the negative, and so that returns wouldn't be nearly as good. So you might have heard that BlackRock is applying for a Bitcoin ETF, and this may or may not get approved by the SEC. If it does, it'll mean that the people will be able to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin for $1 through the brokerage account on the stock market. And it will leave in question, I guess, the future of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the GBTC ticker, and it'll probably make people wonder why they're still in there. But it changes the equation, right? When you have an ETF, you are charging $1 for $1 worth of asset. Right now, with the trust in Grayscale, we have a situation that benefits us investors who get in early, and that premiums can be added. So instead of, if somebody wants $1 worth of Litecoin, they might have to pay $2 or $5 or $10 or $30, like I said in the Litecoin video, right? When I talked about the LTCN trust and the potential returns and what it did last bull run, we had a 33x premium at one point. And when you have an ETF, a spot ETF, that doesn't happen. If you want $1 worth of Litecoin, you pay $1. Like, the premiums don't exist. So the premiums and the discounts do not exist. And then the math changes. So the videos that I put out about Grayscale and the returns that you can get with the different crypto trusts, they all depend on the fact that we have the trusts and we don't have a competing ETF. Now, I think it was like a year or so ago, I think Grayscale they asked the SEC to convert the GBTC trust that they have for Bitcoin into a Bitcoin ETF. And I think the SEC denied them. And now we've got other companies applying for the spot ETFs. So we'll see what happens with that. Nobody has requested or applied for an ETF in the other cryptos yet. I imagine once Bitcoin gets an ETF, people are going to ask for an Ethereum ETF. But Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and Stellar might be, years away from that. But they undoubtedly will come at some point. And when they come and those ETFs are present, the game is going to change. It's going to be over, right? So what we have right now with the Grayscale Trust is a limited time opportunity to make some serious gains when you get in at a low point at a discount, and you're able to sell at the top and there's a premium on top. Right? This is it's basic math. And when the ETFs come into play, and those eventually come around, those won't be present. Then you'll just be able to get standard returns like you get in cryptocurrency, which are okay, which are great, but they're not as good as what you can get when there are premiums applied. Because right now, the trusts are sort of like a closed-end fund where there are only a certain number of tokens, for example, of a given cryptocurrency in the trust, and people have to vie for them. They have to compete for them. And that's why we get premiums. It's like somebody had asked in one of the previous videos, they made a comment. They asked, me to describe what a premium is. And a premium is basically just like extra you have to pay. For example, let's say I was selling cans of Coke, like Coca-Cola. You can buy Coca-Cola all over the world in vending machines, stores, gas stations, all over the place. It's going to cost you a certain amount, and the price is going to vary depending on, on over the course of time. It's going to vary a little bit. But if I were to like have people to an event, like a sports arena or something, and I were to say Coke is available to sell, I could charge those people way, way more than, say, a gas station or a grocery store or a vending machine would, just because they were there for a certain event, and that's a premium. I'm able to make more money because there's a demand for a limited resource, for an event. And the event is the bull market. You could look at the event that correlates to this as being the bull market. If people want an opportunity to invest in Litecoin, for example, through their IRA or through their standard brokerage account during the bull run, the only option that they have right now is the LTCN Trust by Grayscale. That's the only option. So if they want in on it, that's the place they have to go. And they're all competing for a limited resource. This is why premiums can be charged. It's why insane premiums were charged for the Litecoin Trust. Like a 33x premium is absolutely insane. But we saw that in the last bull run. We saw 10x premiums. The premiums were absolutely insane in the Litecoin Trust. There's obviously a lot of interest in Litecoin, but like I said, when the day comes when Grayscale converts their LTCN Trust to a Litecoin ETF, or some other company comes around and files for their own spot Litecoin ETF, then it's going to be game over. Like if it's the equations will change and the returns that I'm talking about will not be possible. They're not going to, because the multipliers are not there, and the discounts and the premiums, figure into a multiplier, and that's what makes the returns so phenomenal in the Grayscale fund. So I sort of look at it and I go, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get a Litecoin or a Bitcoin Cash ETF before the next bull run. So I'm pretty sure that those trusts are going to be fine, and they're going to be in play, so to speak, for the coming bull run. Now they might not be for the following one. So I'm only counting on them being around for one bull run, the next bull run, and that's it. That I've got one shot and one shot only to make it happen. And so that's why I'm just going all in, right, on the trust. And it's like, you based on the videos, if you've seen the videos that I put out just in the past day where I talk about the BCHG and the LTCN, the potential gains from them, you understand why BCHG is my number one investment and LTCN is my number two investment, because they have incredible returns, incredible potential. And it's just like, I lost my train of thought. I need some more. This is like, remember from the video the other day where I talked about Bitcoin Cash being a derivative product of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash was the orange juice. I love that Bitcoin Cash juice. Anyway, we have a limited time opportunity for investing and making the gains that are possible in the Grayscale Trust. Limited time. It's not going to last forever. And it might only be this bull run, right? And it's not going to be in every Grayscale Trust like the GBTC Bitcoin Trust. I mean, the premiums weren't that great anyway, but especially with a competing ETF that's likely to be on the books by the time we get to the next bull run, you're not going to see great returns, I don't think, in GBTC this time around. So, but you do have the opportunity right now, at least unless something changes, like something weird happens, and somebody puts out a Litecoin ETF or a Bitcoin Cash ETF or a Stellar Lumens ETF, we still have an opportunity to make the gains that I talked about, right? Nothing's guaranteed, but the past isn't a guarantee of what's going to happen in the future, but it's the best that we have to go on. And all we can do is say that we think that the future is going to look similar to the past, and to kind of do estimations from it. And the estimations from it are just phenomenal. I mean, they're phenomenal returns. I can't even, they just blow your mind, right? I mean, you can get 100x plus, 200x, 300x or more, depending on where things are at and what kind of premiums come into play. Just insane types of returns. But just, I would count on only having one bull run to make this thing happen. To let that be your motivation to do the research, take the actions that are necessary if you want in on a potential opportunity that could be potentially mind-blowing, to do it. And I don't know how much time you've got. Like, I don't know how much time you've got. Like, if you're not in already and you're thinking about it, I don't know how much time. Every time a cryptocurrency rises in price, like Bitcoin Cash, for example, it doubled in price from just a few days ago. When a crypto doubles like that, the potential returns from BCHG drop in half because the equation changed. And the longer you wait, the worse off you could be. You could also be in a good position because maybe some major pullbacks are coming in the market for Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and Stellar, So when I'm referring to those three funds. So just something to consider, that it's a limited time offer, right? It's a limited time offer, and we don't know how much time we have to make this thing happen. And it's like I always motivate myself, like when I'm feeling lazy about investing, I motivate myself in a couple of ways. I'll listen to songs from Eminem, like Run Rabbit Run, and I'll watch videos on YouTube. I'll search for senior poverty, senior homelessness, and I watch what happens with them, and I'm like, I don't want that to happen to me or my family. I need to get off my butt and invest. So you have to take action. I'm not responsible for you. Like, I don't know you. I'm not responsible for you. I want to try to help you, but I'm also not a crutch. You can't lean on me, right? You should do your own research. Like, I'm just a dude in a Jeep on YouTube that you're watching. So keep that in mind. But anyway, the ETFs, like, they will come. We just don't know when. They will come. An ETF for Litecoin will come. An ETF for Bitcoin Cash will come. But we just don't know when, right? An ETF for Stellar will come. We just don't know when. And so until that time, we still have an opportunity. Once an ETF comes, we're not going to have that same opportunity anymore. We'll just have the opportunity that everyone else has. And right now we have like an extra ace in the hole, right? We've got an extra advantage over people who are just investing in native cryptocurrency. We won't have that after an ETF is released, right? We won't have that, but we do right now. So if you want to take advantage of it, you need to move. You need to take action. And you need to be willing to stomach the ups and downs, like of the markets, of cryptocurrency and of the trust prices, right? Like if you want to make 100x gains, then you have to be willing to like ride out the periods of time when you see your portfolio dump 50%, 70%, 90%, when you just want to throw up. You have to be able to get through that period and be able to stomach that if you are deserving, in my opinion, of a 50x or 100x or 200x return. That's what it takes to get those returns. You're in the right asset class, cryptocurrency, if you want to make those kind of returns, but you have to be able to stomach the road, the twists and turns, the ups and downs of it. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Just remember that it's a limited time opportunity that we don't have forever. When the ETFs come around, the game will change. The game will change for all of us. So take advantage now if you want. If you're interested, take advantage now. This is not a sales pitch. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor or any of that. I'm just a dude in my car on YouTube. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you guys later. Until then, good luck. God bless. Godspeed.